Let's do a sunset report. It's sunset in eastern Bolivia right now. I don't think there's a whole lot going on there. Maybe even disputed territory, at least in the 1930s. I think they had a war between Bolivia and Paraguay. And yeah, wait, which way am I looking here? I hate when I put it the wrong way. That's a place where the sun's setting. It's about the rain here in Florida. Might as well do it now. The important part is let's talk about Seth Rich. And it's good to talk about Seth Rich because, well, you know, what's the point of doing this alternative source to the fake news media if you're not going to talk about a story like this, right? Yeah, I'm just figuring out which way to look. I think I put the phone upside down. This is the one downside when you don't do the fake news. I think I'll just stand this way. You screw up technical things. And like, what's the point? Because I want to look at myself. I don't even want to look at myself right now. I've gained a few pounds, and frankly, that's a little sloppy of me. But let's talk about Seth Rich and not joke. Big media doesn't want you to be talking about this story for pretty obvious reasons. There are, fortunately, as I wrote, other places to get information on this kind of thing. For example, Zero Hedge, which is what I'm using now to give you the information, mostly verbatim. I may go off a little bit, but I'm probably just going to read you the story they had and a few comments I've already selected. So, posted by Tyler Durden, which is sort of a fake name based on the character in Fight Club that is used by, I think it's various people use it. Maybe it's one particular person at Zero Hedge. We don't know his real name who uses it, but that's the name you see most often there. And Zero Hedge is mostly financial information, but they cover the news from a conservative perspective. And frankly, all this stuff affects our confidence in the markets, our confidence in our civilization. So all this relates to finance. So here is what was written and published at 10 a.m. today at Zero Hedge. And this is a good update about what's going on. You may have heard the name Seth Rich thrown around a lot the last few days. You may have heard it last summer. Okay, last week Fox News dropped a bombshell report officially confirming via anonymous FBI sources what many had suspected for quite some time, that murdered DNC staffer Seth Rich was the WikiLeaks source for leaks which proved that the DNC was intentionally undermining the campaign of Bernie Sanders. Seth Rich was a big Bernie Sanders supporter. In addition to exposing the corruption of the DNC, the leaks cost Debbie Wasserman Schultz her job as chairwoman. Of course, if it's true that WikiLeaks emails came from a DNC insider, it would end the Russian hacking narrative that has been perpetuated by Democrats and the mainstream media for the past several months. Moreover, it would corroborate the one confirmation that Julian Assange has offered regarding his source, namely, it was not a state actor. Meanwhile, the plot thickened a little more over the weekend when Kim.com, that's a famous internet hacker, confirmed via Twitter that he was working with Seth Rich to get leaked emails to WikiLeaks. Here was the tweet from Kim.com. I knew Seth Rich. I knew he was the WikiLeaks source. I was involved, and there's a link there. Sorry about the wind. Which was followed up by the following posts on 4chan's poll subgroup that high-ranking current and former Democratic Party officials are terrified of the Seth Rich murder investigation. Here is one post. Anons, I work in D.C. I know for certain that the Seth Rich case has scared the fecal matter out of certain high-ranking current and former Democratic Party officials. This is the reason why they have backed away from impeachment talk. They know the smoking gun is out there, and they're terrified you will find it, because when you do, it will bring the entire DNC, along with a couple very big-name politicians. It appears that certain DNC thugs were not thorough enough when it came time to cover their tracks. Podesta, saying he wanted to, quote, make an example of the leaker, is a huge smoking gun. The Post went on to claim that a smoking gun in this case is out of the hands of the conspirators, which has resulted in near open panic in DC circles. Reading from the Post that they refer to in the Zero Hedge article, the behavior is near open panic. To even mention this name in DC circles will bring you under automatic scrutiny. To even admit that you have knowledge of this story puts you in immediate danger. I guess it doesn't speak too well for me. Oh well, whatever. What can we do? God judges all, right? There's a plan for all of us, and it probably doesn't involve pretending that the story doesn't exist if we have any claim of wanting to be in public life or have any claim to reporting things or trying to discuss current events. Why would I even bother if I can't cover this? If there was no smoke, there would be no fire. I've never in my 20 years of working in DC seen such a panicked reaction from anyone. I have strong reason to believe that the smoking gun in this case is out of the hands of the conspirators and will be discovered by Anon. I know for certain that Podesta is deeply concerned. He's been receiving anonymous calls and emails from people saying they know the truth. Same with Hillary. And that's the end of that part of the post. Then it goes to the original tweet, which I have here. It says, Anons, I work in DC. I know, blah, blah. I said this again, but I'm going to repeat it. This is the whole tweet from yesterday. No, from Saturday. I know for certain that the Seth Rich case has scared the fecal matter out of certain high-ranking current and former Democratic Party officials. This is the reason why they have backed away from impeachment talk, as I said before. They know, I'm repeating it, they know the smoking gun is out there and they're terrified you will find it, because when you do, it will bring down the entire DNC, along with a couple of very big-name politicians. Well, not that inconceivable, given what's happened in the last year in terms of information that's been revealed, right? Think about what got Trump elected in large part. The tweet continues, is it a tweet or what is this? This is an image? No, it's a tweet. That is an image. It appears that certain DNC thugs were not thorough enough when it came time to cover their tracks. Podesta saying he wanted to make an example of the leaker is a huge smoking gun. Okay, so I repeated that. Now let's go back to what is coming from the Zero Hedge piece. Meanwhile, Kim.com has promised more information will be released on his interaction with Seth Rich by tomorrow. Here's the tweet. I'm meeting my legal team on Monday. I will issue a statement about Seth Rich on Tuesday. That's tomorrow, unless someone gets to him before then. Please be patient. This needs to be done properly. Zero Hedge continues. This raises several questions. First, if Kim.com knew that Seth Rich was in fact the WikiLeaks source, why is he just now coming forward with such information? Second, while Seth Rich may explain the DNC leaks, we still don't know who is responsible for the Podesta files, which we're certain will continue to be attributed to Russian hackers, which leads to the most important question of all. Is this all just another fake news diversion, or is there more to the Seth Rich murder? And a few comments that I got. I'm not going to be doing, not that long here. This is a thread. One follows the other in the comments section, so they're not independent of each other. One comment. Hence, a new sheriff in town. They felt comfy with Comey. Response to that. Come on, Kim. Don't let us down. Response to that. But Hillary was supposed to win and shield them all. No wonder they're trying so hard to take Trump down. Response to that. Looks like a good place to ask why Hillary said, we will all hang if she lost the election. Why did she say that? Why did she apologize to dumbass, meaning Obama, for her loss? Oblivio, Obama, and the DNC are exposed big time as a result of her loss. They operated wide open, assuming Comey would stay in. Another comment. Nothing will happen. They got dirt on everyone, and everyone will be blackmailed, strong-armed into not talking. Just theater. Enjoy, but remember, it's all for naught. I may agree with that one. End of that thread. Now, another comment there. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that it really is different this time. The power of the people is far greater than the people in power now. And he continues, or she continues, I don't know. Our technology is helping to enable this to happen, but it can't do it by itself. The only thing evil needs to prevail is for good people to do nothing, and I see a lot of that, including Republican politicians and wannabe politicians. Do nothing, and our collective fate is sealed. If there was ever a time to stand for something now, it would be it. And I'm going to emphasize at the end, the information's there. You need to read it. You need to share it with some people. You can't say you didn't have the opportunity to get such information. I gave you the links up there. And then that commenter continues, we're at a historical pivot point. The biggest mistake they made was giving us the internet. Another comment, what I would wish for is they all sweat it out and then turn on each other. And then the final comment here is the response. Here's a response to nothing will happen. Not sure about that. Sessions has the contents of Comey's office and computers. Probably why he was fired while in California. Next few weeks will definitely be interesting. Whoa, here comes the wind. I may beat the rain by like 1 minute here. So I'm just going to end right now, though this was where I was going to end anyway. Funny. I remind you all, this is me, even though I'm reading from a note I wrote before, all this information is available for you out there. With this so-called Sunset Report, as at other times, I'm just doing my part here. I hope a lot of you will do your part. Okay?